Rangers take to Parma, but would you bet against the UEFA Cup champions who tonight field the likes of Ortega, Dino Baggio and World Cup winner Thuram? It's over Moore and Rayner, Pat, but they're both in the side tonight.
Yeah, I think it's very important that they had a defence that they were comfortable with, a defence that they've been playing with all season, because they're going to be tested like tonight like they've not been tested, certainly this season so far. So they'll be happy to have Moore there. I think that's where the problem is. Looking forward, McCann's not playing. Slightly surprised in some ways, but really, you know, you're 2-0 up. You want to make sure that that you hold on to that. And
Is in Parma.
Score and also as well, he's like Pat Nevin, and he's slight contact, he'll go down.
Nonsense.
Pat, are Parma the sort of side who will be patient tonight, or will they be very eager to get a goal quickly?
Listen to what they were saying in the various interviews that they have done, their players have done. They actually don't sound as confident as I expected them to sound. You mentioned before there about Craig saying that Rangers could overrun them in midfield. I think he was talking numerically there, really.
With the 5 in midfield?
Yeah, about the 5 against 4, really. I don't think he was talking quality. But certainly, I mean, the problem he has got, as Terry says, Ortega is the problem. Do you put a man on to mark him, or do you just play him when he runs into your area? A real difficulty. I totally expected Rangers to put a man marker on him. I was expecting Ian Ferguson to play, and fairly surprised by what the man just come up with.
Well, it's going to be a tense night, isn't it, in Italy? Can Rangers do it? We're about to find out. Time to join our commentators in Parma, Craig Brown, and first is John Helm.
And a very good evening to you from the Stadio Ennio Tardini, a tight, compact and perhaps intimidating arena for Rangers to defend that 2-goal lead they forged for themselves at Ibrox a fortnight ago. Well, prior to the 90s, Parma had never won anything in a 60-year history, but since the turn of the decade, they've been a success story of Italian football, with no fewer than 7 trophies in 8 seasons, including the UEFA Cup twice and the Cup Winners' Cup once. Indeed, they're the current holders of the UEFA Cup, having beaten Marseille in Moscow only 3 months ago. So their ambition will certainly match that of Rangers tonight. So let's look then at the Rangers lineup first. It's almost the same 11 that destroyed Dundee at the weekend. And the only changes from the first leg against Parma are in goal, where the injured Stefan Klos is replaced by Lionel Charbonnier. And perhaps surprisingly, the introduction of Darius Adamchuk, the Pole, for Neil McCann. How do you expect them to shape up, Craig?
Well, I'm certain they'll shape up in a 3-5-2 formation, with the wide players, Adamchuk on the right and Vidmar on the left, there to stop the threat of Fusser and Vanoli, the wide players of Parma. I think tactically a very astute decision by the coach Dick Advocat, because he had to do something to stop the width which is going to be prevailing in this Parma team.
Well, Parma spent close on £60 million in the summer. Amazing, isn't it? Bringing in Ariel Ortega just for around 10 million from Sampdoria, and the Brazilian Amoruso from Udinese for the trifling matter of 21 million pounds. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for Rangers, he's injured. But this, Craig, is still a formidable unit.
Oh yes, an outstanding side. They showed that in flashes at Ibrox, and they seem to be very optimistic about this evening's game. The key to it, of course, I think will be Ortega playing just behind the front to Crespo and De Baio. Whether Rangers mark him man for man using Barry Ferguson or not remains to be seen, but Ortega, I would think, is the key to this match as far as Parma's concerned.
Another key factor, and these Glasgow Rangers fans will testify to it, is the heat. I mean, it's 9 o'clock in the evening here, but it's very steamy.
Yeah, 32 degrees just a couple of hours ago, and I don't think the temperature's dropped much.
And this is the referee for the evening, the Swede Carl-Erik Nielsen. There's been a lot of talk in the press at home about the intimidation that might be put on him, of course, by Italian players who are not known to be backward in coming forward or falling down if it comes to that.
No, they're not, but he's an experienced official, and I'm sure he'll stand no nonsense, and that'll be good for Rangers. But I don't put much store on these threats of intimidation. I'm sure Malasani won't tolerate that from his Parma side.
Well, the fans have been here in force since yesterday. I came out yesterday, Craig jetted in today, and there are about 5,000 of them here. Boy, do they make their presence felt, and they're a credit to Glasgow Rangers Football Club.
They are indeed. Terrific support here. We see there's a corner full of Rangers fans and a part of the main stand, and they're making far more noise than around 20,000 local fans.
Well, of course, they know the scene well here. They came here last season and went down to defeat, ironically, it was the two Italians on that night, Parini and Amoruso, who took the blame. But let's hope that tonight Rangers, who trained on the pitch here last night, have got it all right. So straight away into the action with Lassisi, one of the 4 changes from the first game. Now in danger already. Now you see Ortega went down there, but I think he stumbled, to be fair to him. I don't think there was any attempt there to kid anybody. It's a very noisy atmosphere, I can tell you. Ortega again spinning, he's got that low centre of gravity. Absolutely vital, Craig, for Rangers to weather the storm in these opening minutes.
Yes, indeed. We saw the use of the multiple ball system there. Fusser took a quick throw on the right hand side to Ortega. When there was a long clearance from Vidmar going out of play, they took it very quickly. They're intending, I'm sure, to put pressure on Rangers right away.
They don't want to be yielding too many free kicks outside the penalty area. This one is a good 35 yards out and at an angle. But we all know that every side these days has experts in the side who can hit deadly balls from just outside the area. Let's see what happens with this one. A little flick of the ball from Ortega, who was not at his best at Ibrox and was withdrawn after just over half an hour's play after the dismissal of Cannavaro.
Yeah, and he's down there already, so that's twice he has fallen. Once was quite clearly no contact. On that occasion there appeared to be slight contact, but he's making the most of it. And again we've got a free kick in a dangerous situation with Alberto Malasani looking on.
One of the youngest coaches in Serie A. Floated in, and it's too high for Hernan Crespo. They've got some good front players. They
have, and Vanoli swung that ball in very temptingly, but it was over the top. I thought Paolo Vanoli was arguably their best player at Ibrox, wide on the left. He caused Parini a bit of problem, and hopefully Adamczyk will keep him in control.
I'm told he once came to Stenhouse Muir, by the way. He could be eligible for you.
Well, I would hope so.
Dick Advocaat, the Glasgow Rangers manager, who has a terrific record, 62 matches in charge, and he's lost only 6 of them.
Well, that's fantastic, and I think he's got a great deal more experience than his opposite number, Alberto Malasani, and that may be crucial tonight.
Hoisted in towards Michael Mols, the Dutchman, whose wife is expecting a baby, we're told, next Monday, not this Monday. There are 1 or 2 scare stories, but he's here and he's playing, and he'll be keen to get a goal tonight. Covered for the moment by Lassisi. Goal kick given at Michael Mols. I think 1 or 2 feel that Johansson's a little bit unlucky not to get a starting place again for Rangers tonight, but Mols' scoring record so far, 7 goals already, can't be argued with.
Yeah, Johansson's on the bench, and he'll be a very useful substitute because he's got terrific pace. He scored 2 goals for Finland and Belgium last week and is excellent in the counter-attack, but at the moment Rangers aren't considering that. They're just going to play normally, it would appear. They're certainly not defending in a deep fashion. They're well forward, which is what Dick Advocaat wanted, and they're started very comfortably.
That was a lovely old-fashioned shoulder charge from Parini there.
Yeah.
That was something that used to happen back in the 50s and 60s. I thought he'd have gone out of the game. Bogossian, a French international, one of the World Cup winners. Well, that's nice play from Fusser. Linking up well is Lassisi, another Frenchman. Plenty of Frenchmen in there. I can't believe the transformation of this stadium. When we arrived mid-afternoon, it was very quiet, very dull looking, to be honest. You couldn't believe that there would be an atmosphere like this.
No, things are electric now. It's well filled. The full capacity of 27,500, I think, is in place, and they have very, very big support from Glasgow.
Ortega looks up for it tonight, rather more than he did at Ibrox. He took a lot of criticism in the Italian press for his performance that evening.
Yeah, he was substituted quite early. As soon as they went down to 10 men, when Cannavaro was sent off came Ortega. It was an instant decision almost by the coach Malasani, and he hasn't been too popular, I understand, here.
So Rangers have got through the first 5 minutes okay, just 85 to go.
Yeah, and there's no question of man-for-man marking on Ortega. Dick Advocaat is pulling the strings there as usual, but Barry Ferguson is picking him up, but it's not a strict man-for-man situation. Barry's trying to play off him, which is good because he can play.
Fuse joined the club from Lazio, having played in the UEFA Cup final for them. So Ortega spins again, refinds Fuse, lovely interplay between the two of them. Fuse in a dangerous position here, they've got to cut this one out, there might still be a chance, and it's over the top of that crossbar, and that's the first clear opening of the night, and it came in there to Vanoli, and he's put it over, but that is a warning.
A warning, brilliant play by Ortega down the side and Fusser, and it landed on Vanoli's wrong foot, his less good foot, his right foot, and over the top. Great ball across the face of the goal there. In comes Vanoli, onto his right foot and over the top. I'm sure had it been in his left, it would have been in the back of the Rangers net. Interesting that Amoruso is a dreadful goal kick he took. He's taking them because, of course, Charbonnier has only just come back from knee surgery himself. Now here goes Fusser again. He's clearly a threat in these early moments, along with Ortega. Ortega's had more of the ball than anybody in these early moments. And this might... Well, 2-on-1, and the Rangers men did well there. And to be fair to the referee's assistant, he wasn't to be kidded either. Infield it goes from Torrisi. Dangerous ball, but just too far. And Charbonnier, he's got his knees strapped. He had last night. Yeah, well, it's a major disadvantage when a defender has to take the goal kicks, because that enables the opposition to be onside at all times, and that was a poor goal kick by Amoruso. Here goes Fusser again. He's right into the pace of this game quickly. Fusser doesn't get the better of the defender though, and that's good tracking back. So vital for Dick Advocaat's plans tonight that the midfield men get back and help out. Fusser, this might just be too long. Steered back inside towards Dino Baggio, who's another who had a disappointing game at Ibrox. He did, but he looks up for it tonight. In fact, the entire Parma team are very enthusiastic at the start here. They're lively and they're running off the ball exceptionally well. Clearance by Craig Moore. Of course, it's not unknown for Scottish teams to come to Italy with 2-goal leads and get beaten. We're certainly not wishing that upon them. I don't think you should be reminding us of that, John. No. This is the man on whom the Italian hopes rest. 44-year-old Alberto Malassani, who's an outstanding young coach. Only 8 years coaching in top professional football. So again, this free kick. All the free kicks seem to be coming from the same area. And there's a lot of movement inside that penalty area, driven in hard. Yeah, good ball by Fusser, but well defended by Van Bronckhorst there. The Dutch international who was in the squad for the last game against Denmark, named by Frank Rijkaard. Wasn't. Fusser now turns up on the left side of midfield, and there's again danger here, but in the way this time is Lorenzo Amoruso, the Rangers captain, one of the Italian contingent, of course, coming near to home. Bogosian tries to play that little short ball in, but there's a blue line right across the edge of the penalty area, and that was encouraging. Now, Rod Wallace, a little layoff for Moles, surrounded by yellow shirts, but he will have support arriving now, and the referee, I thought he was going to play an advantage there, which might have let Tony Vidmar in. No, Lassisi definitely impeded him, and I think the free kick was better than the advantage rule on that occasion, although Tony Vidmar looked as though he had good possession, but there were no Rangers players ahead of him. So I think a good decision by the Swedish referee. Two men standing over the free kick there. Barry Ferguson, one of them, a highly promising young player, perhaps the most gifted of the young Scots at the moment. Up towards Wallace. Puts his studs on the ball and gets away, gets through, does well there. Oh, and then the pass didn't quite match the earlier tenacity. But Vidmar's come to help out, so has Ferguson. Such a busy player. And
I know it was a disappointment to you, Craig, tonight that there's no Neil McCann, so really you're restricted to watching Ferguson from a Scotland point of view.
That's right, only one Scottish player, but McCann's on the bench and Colin Henry's on the bench, and I'm sure I would like to think that one or other, or perhaps both, would get a run at some point in the match.
Good tackle by fase. And Ortega swept dangerously across there. Good covering here by Porini. Gets it back in time to Charbonnier.
I think fase has seen more of the ball than any other player at Parma, and he's done exceptionally well. And he wasn't included in the starting lineup in Glasgow, but he's been very, very effective so far.
Just out of your shot, Dick Advocaat came to remonstrate with the Swedish referee there. He really thought Ortega made a meal of that one. But certainly they're ahead on free kicks, but that doesn't count. Thuram and then Torrisi. Thuram has indeed started on the left of the three at the back. It is Ortega again. Oh, through for Crespo, onside to the edge of that area. Will just keep it in play. Looks to win the corner. In fact, the ball's still in play. So far they've counted them pretty well.
Well, they looked offside, I thought, there, but good covering by Adamczyk, who cleared it long into the Parma half, and they've taken the throw in quickly and starting yet another attack. Quite interesting to note that Buffon in goal, I don't think, has touched the ball yet.
No, he hasn't. He's not going to touch it here either, no. Torrisi breaks, that is offside. No question about that. The man caught out is Marco Di Vaio, the one who's come into the side in place of Chiesa. How on earth do you improve your side when you lose Veron and Chiesa?
Unbelievable, the ones you have to replace them. Malasani looking fairly casual at the moment, but the longer it goes like this, the more worried he'll become.
Yes, he was also looking at his watch. Now fase gives such width, and Ortega rode the challenge well there of Craig Moore. Lays it too far for Crespo. Charbonnier in the side, of course, before Stefan closes out. A little unfortunate, I think, is Antiniemi, the other goalkeeper at Ibrox, who just seems to be permanently on the subs bench at the moment.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Kloss is the first choice, and Niemi is, in fact, the Finnish international, his third choice goalkeeper. Charbonnier back tonight. Heavily strapped knee, which really indicates that Dick Advocaat prefers Charbonnier, and even half-fit Charbonnier to the fully fit Niemi.
Maruza. Work the ball through that touchline, but when it's conceded, they do drive forward with purpose. These Parma players, they've known so much success over recent years. It's incredible to think that they were never in Serie A in the first 60 years of their existence. This is a dangerous ball, and Charbonni's got to be sure here. Came and there's nothing wrong with that. The crowd are whistling, but he had to come and react.
Yeah, that was good goalkeeping. The ball was a long time in the air. It gave him time to come and get the sponge for the throw-in.
Those Rangers fans are making a lot of noise, as they have been doing in the town today. So far so good for them, but here is fase. There's always a danger when this man is in possession, menacing. The ball comes back off Craig Moore. Bogosian tries to get a shot there, booted up in the air by Adamczyk, but it's straight up in the air, headed away again by Amoruso, and this will be a free kick in an even more dangerous position to the previous free kicks, and there's a yellow card for Rod Wallace.
Yeah, I think Rod Wallace a bit unfortunate there. He went, I thought, firmly for the ball with a much more powerful guy, Dino Baggio, and Dino Baggio went down, rolling around, and it's a free kick. Here we see Wallace facing up to the free kick.
Well, there is clear peril here for the Rangers goal from this sort of position. Ortega is one over there. Dino Baggio looks to be involved in this as well. Vanoli perhaps. And every Rangers player is back behind the ball.
Looks like Ortega are going to curl it over the wall, or Dino Baggio have a strike.
So Ariel Ortega, who is one of the Argentinian World Cup heroes, And it will be Ortega. It is dangerous, and a super save from Charbonnier. At full stretch, gets his fingertips to the ball, keeps it out, and does exactly what a goalkeeper has to do.
Absolutely, he's not happy with the wall there. He felt like what some player on the wall turned side on and allowed it through, but it was an excellent save.
There are 6 Parma players in the penalty area for this corner from Fuser, and although Parma had made a connection there, maybe Bogosian, Charbonnier not troubled. That was the first real save that we've seen this evening. It's well won back, and they will build again with Bogosian, and this is danger down that left-hand touchline now. The formidable figure of Thuram powering on, the cross ball in! Over the top it goes. They've had 2 chances, they've not been able to take either of them, but that was a sweeping move, and for the first time Di Vaio got in at the back post, and it looked as though there might be something on for him.
Yes, it looked a great ball from Thuram, who's been breaking from the back regularly, and in it comes, and it's a wonderful save from the free kick. He actually went with his right hand when you would have thought his left hand was more appropriate, but wonderful goalkeeping, superb play by Charbonnier, and that's why he's been selected for Rangers tonight.
And the noise levels just intensified. Now Van Bronckhorst, but the possession conceded. It doesn't matter because Fuser has taken Van Bronckhorst out.
He did, he was late there, and surprisingly no yellow card. There was one earlier for Wallace, and I thought that was an equally ferocious and late tackle, and so did Dick Advocat, obviously.
Always has his sleeves rolled up, doesn't he? He means business.
He's ready for business, he's ready to fight anyone.
Former Holland international team manager, of course. But it's Rangers with Sergio Porrini, the 30-year-old defender who was sent off in this corresponding match last season. That's something Rangers will have to be aware of. They can't afford that. It's bad enough with 11 men in this sort of atmosphere. You can't afford to go down to 10. Here they come now. Dino Baggio got the layoff, but Rangers spotted it well. Moles tries to knock it back for Ferguson. Moles takes the return ball from him. There might be chances here for Rangers. As Craig Brown said about 10 minutes ago, I don't think that the goalkeeper of Parma, Gianluigi Buffon, has touched the ball yet. Certainly not had to make a save.
No, he hasn't been involved at all, and we've played at least 15 minutes, so that tells us something about the way the game's going.
Something else that just happened, the first mention, I think, for Claudio Reyna tonight. I've hardly seen him, he's just had a touch of the ball now, but they've managed to keep it away from the man who's been in top form. Yeah,
because Dino Baggio's in form tonight. He certainly wasn't at Ibrox, he was substituted, but Dino Baggio has started very impressively indeed.
Now then, Craig Moore concedes another free kick, won by Ortega. He's winning just about every free kick that's going, isn't he?
Yeah, he's quite adept at going down when required.
Quickly taken, Fuser to Ortega. These are the two posing all the problems. Brilliant ball back in. And well spotted Charbonnier again.
Good goalkeeping, yes.
Fuser's a quality player.
Yeah, Fuser, as I say, didn't get a start in the first leg, but he's a key player in this one. He's a home player, obviously, and had a good spell with Lazio and was involved in the national team, and now he's here at Parma and looking very good this evening.
Moles tries to brush aside Lassisi. And Wallace is working particularly hard at the moment. He's winning many a ball that he doesn't deserve to win, really, but simple by tenacity, he's doing well.
He is indeed, yeah. And Lassisi, again, a rather clumsy tackle there, which, you know, having given a red card to Wallace, a yellow card to Wallace rather, the referee set a standard, which I'm afraid he's not applying to the Italians.
Well, there should have been a booking for Fuser a moment or two ago. Now it's Van Bronckhorst, the former Feyenoord player. Flies it much too long, and the flag was raised in any event. Well, I don't know what this is doing for David Murray's blood pressure. I'm told he's watching back in Glasgow. So David, I hope you're enjoying the action, and I hope the heart isn't fluttering too much.
Well, I think he'll be happy that really, we've had one save, Charbonnier, and a bit of quick thinking when he intercepted a through ball, but other than that, Rangers have kept the shots down to the minimum, and if we do that for the rest of the game, I'm sure David Murray will be very happy, and everyone in Scotland will be happy.
Thuram picks out this little man Ortega, who skips past the first, past the second. Vital interception there by Craig Moore, who returned to the side from Crystal Palace at the start of this season. Now Moles has angled it over towards Wallace. And coming back and doing his job there was Vanoli. To Dino Baggio, a man with 60 caps for his country. Will fire it long, he's got a good range of passing. More at the heart of the defence. Wallace. Moles tries to wend his way past the first defender, and that ball will be allowed to go dead, and that is indeed a goal kick. Well, let's dip down to the touchline now to hear from Adam Dark.
Yes, I'm standing next to a very animated Dick Advocaat indeed, and he's becoming increasingly frustrated. What he's looking for is for Michael Moles and Rod Wallace to hold the ball up more, and because they're not, it's forcing Rangers to defend deeper and deeper and deeper, and I think he knows that Rangers can't defend that deep for 90 minutes.
Thank you, Adam. There's, of course, a considerable number of Premier League action in England tonight, and we'll keep you abreast of any scores that we get from the Premier League. But our attention very much focused on this absorbing battle. Rangers, remember, with that 2-goal lead, given them Reina Vidmar at Ibrox, and they will be well pleased with the way they've gone so far. The cross ball in towards Crespo. Corner. Amoruso covering Hernan Crespo. We've not seen a lot of Crespo yet so far, which is to Rangers' advantage.
Yeah, we had 6 players up for the corner in the box the last time, and the same again this time. That's a big number.
Fuser's ball. It was Amoruso, got his head to it, and there's a chance of a break once more, but it's not going to get to Wallace. Instead it's Baggio. Free kick for Rangers though.
Yes, another free kick for Rangers. You notice that any time a Rangers player looks like getting free, the Italian side, Parma players have no hesitation in impeding them. They try to do it fairly. They've not been incurring yellow cards, but I think if they continue to concede as many fouls in midfield, they're going to get some yellow cards here.
Reina with a touch to Adamchuk. Willing to chase Parma, they've got to do, and they're more used to this heat, and they mustn't give it away to Ortega here. Oh, good battling by Ferguson. That was terrific play from him there. If Ortega had got away from him, Rangers were in trouble.
Yeah, very tenacious work by Barry Ferguson. Excellent play, in fact, but Parma have got possession yet again.
Well, back in England, the scoreline, it hurts me to give this one. There's a boy from Bradford, but it's Arsenal 2, Bradford City 0. Goals for Patrick Vieira and for Kanu, that brilliant striker. Blanco Kanu. Arsenal 2, Bradford 0. Here it is still 0-0 between Parma and Glasgow Rangers, with Claudio Reina.
I think you're a Bradford fan, John, so both goals have been offside.
No question about it. Here's Adamchuk. And he's hoisted one across here, which is calmly dealt with by Fuser. To turn back inside the Australian Vidmar, one of 2 Australians who were looking at this Rangers lineup tonight, calling it cosmopolitan. 8 nationalities in the starting 11. Now Vanoli, dangerous ball across in here. There's a problem this time for Rangers. Fuser doesn't get a clear strike on it, but again, to their credit, Rangers have got the bodies in there when they've had to have them, and the ball is being played out by Claudio Reina because of an injury.
Yeah, it's Adamchuk that's injured, away up in the 18-yard area there of Parma, and Darius Adamchuk looks to be quite badly hurt at the moment, and he's really struggling. He's a tough guy, and he wouldn't be lying there if it wasn't for a fairly serious injury.
Poleaxed.
Yes.
Darius Adamchuk, who joined the club during the summer from Dundee. He's played all around the world, hasn't he, as well?
Yeah,
he played in Italy.
He got one there on the calf, I think, with a high boot, and he has recovered sufficiently to limp on, I suspect.
He actually played at Udinese, but I suspect he didn't cost quite as much as Mr. Amoruso cost them from Udinese in the summer.
I'm sure he didn't, but I'll say this, he's been a key player so far, because Vanoli, who did very well at Ibrox, has hardly been involved, and a great credit has been due to Adamczyk and of course to the tactical work, putting Adamczyk there to nullify him.
Colin Hendry's in the squad for the first time this season, coming back after injury, and also Neil McCann. I think we might see him at some stage.
Good to see these two warming up, yep.
Two Scots.
But with more than a quarter of the game gone, I'm sure Rangers will be happy with their work so far.
So Rayner, who is coming into the game just a little bit more now, which is an encouraging sign for Rangers. Vidmar for Van Bronckhorst. Spagossian, who comes back, takes the ball away from Van Bronckhorst. Parma can start again. But their supporters are quite patient at the moment. They sense that Rangers are going to take some breaking down tonight, I fancy. Now Crespo, the Argentinian, a good ball inside the area. The covering defender is there. He did well to get a shot in there, actually, which went through Parini's legs, but it didn't fool Charbonnier.
No, De Vaio did well, but he couldn't possibly have hoped to score from that position, turning in the ball with Parini between him and the goal, and the goalkeeper in good position.
Walgosia. Oh yes, that was well done by Van Bronckhorst. Mols against the Dutchman, the two Dutchmen combining well. So the Parma system really is working a treat, and they are restricting Rangers. Now there is a big problem. This is Ortega. Crespo's already in the middle. Ortega down. Now I'm feeling this might be a booking, especially the way theatrically Ortega is rolling over and over and over.
Yeah, he's rolling over. It was actually what you would say in inverted commas a good foul, because Ortega was going to be in real danger in that box with the next move. But good play by Ortega. We've got to hand it to him. He's looked the player that he is with Argentina when we see him tonight. He's been bright, he's been very, very inventive, and he's one that Rangers must watch.
Well, I think Ferguson escaped there. I don't think he got a yellow card.
No yellow card, no.
Oh, so 9 referees out of 10, I think, would have produced that.
Yeah, well, I think had he booked Ferguson, he would have had to book one or two of the earlier fouls committed by the Parma team.
Colin Hendry there might yet be needed. Parma's free kick, they had a few of those.
Yeah, Fusser goes over there and takes them. He takes them very, very dangerously.
Swung in, and this is a danger. And Charbonnier got his fingertips to it again with two men, including Ortega, advancing on him. I think Dino Baggio was coming in as well, and Charbonnier kept his concentration well.
Yeah, excellent goalkeeping. I watched them in the warm-up with Alan Hodgkinson, the goalkeeping coach. He looked very good, and he's confirmed that in the first half so far.
It's all Parma, it's got to be said. Fusser always aims it around about the penalty spot, but that's going to go over and out. Will be another corner. Well, they're winning it on corners by miles, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, but corners don't count when it comes to the final result, and so far Rangers are doing well. They're keeping a clean sheet, which is all they need to do tonight.
Very much so. The onus is on Parma. They have to score. They have to score twice. Another Fusser corner. Short this time, a variation. Oh, well spotted. To release Van Bronckhorst. So Claudio Reyna did well in defence there, the American, who used to play in Germany at Wolfsburg.
Yeah, John, he was a very good player in the German Bundesliga, and that's an excellent save again. Right hand coming across and pushing it for a corner.
Ortega with that wriggling style of his, doesn't get through. Well spotted, well picked out. Now Rod Wallace, they need some breaks from him, just to give them a bit of breathing space, and he's done well there because he's got the free kick out of Lassisi, and that's all you can ask a front runner to do.
Yeah, Wallace has done well when he's got rare moments of possession, and that was undoubtedly a free kick yet again. As I said earlier, there's no hesitation in halting the Rangers players by impeding them.
Craig Moore, the man from Melbourne, and again Ferguson. That's Barry Ferguson, of course. Ian Ferguson, one of those on the Rangers bench tonight. And And Dick Advocaat has several options. We've just seen Colin Hendry and Neil McCann. He's also got George Alberts, Gabriel Amato and Jonathan Johansson. Not bad subs to have at all. Ortega is really working hard. Now there is a bit of whistling around the ground. Maybe they are just getting a trifle frustrated.
Yeah, the home crowd is frustrated, and I think the frustration is shown in the whistling because Rangers are keeping possession and they don't like it.
Fuse taking it on from Torrisi. Fuse again. Craig, you had a little stroll out on the pitch earlier this evening. I think you've got a theory that it's a little bit narrow.
Yes, it's narrow. I paced out the pitch and it's no more than 71, 72 yards wide, which is narrow for this level of football. Usually you have a pitch of 75 yards for international football and top club football. But this is tight. It means that they can be even more accurate with the corner kicks, and Fusser has proved that so far.
And here he goes again. Diego Fusser, 30-year-old. Always to the same place, and the head that came in just got it away. As if it had landed at the foot of Baggio there might have been a problem. It was away from him though.
Yeah, lack of variation, one shot, one only, and it was spoiled, so they're just playing it in an orthodox fashion across, and Rangers are defending them very well.
They've defended supremely well, but the problem of a 2-goal advantage is that once Parma get a goal, all of a sudden the pressure intensifies, doesn't it?
Yeah, if they get a goal, John.
If they get a goal.
I'm sure Rangers are hoping they won't, and the way things are going just now, I think it's comfortable for Glasgow Rangers.
They've got through half an hour, and it's the Parma players who have got the worries, and there he is. Alberto Malassani, who didn't have a great playing career, but he certainly proved himself as a coach. Adamchuk seems to have recovered from the knock he took 5 or 6 minutes ago. Reina.
Yeah, Reina has been extremely quiet tonight, and credit for that is due to Dino Baggio, who has dominated that part of the pitch. But we saw, I thought, at Ibrox, Dino Baggio running out of steam. He didn't look as if he was going to last the 90 minutes and was substituted. Now, if that's the case tonight, it'll be good for Rangers, because then Reina could start to take control of midfield.
Well, we're hoping this isn't Rangers' last chance in Europe tonight, and that's the name of your late-night movie coming up later on Channel 5. Story all about terminal virus, but there's nothing terminal about Rangers at the moment, that is for sure. They're handling it well. They've got another free kick, and there have been, actually, the players been interrupted by a great number of free kicks so far.
Yeah, I wonder how many more Lassisi's going to commit before he's given a yellow card. He's been very ruthless in every tackle. He's clumsy, charging in from behind when there's no need to do so. Moles is facing his own goal. He's still to control the ball, and Lassisi barges into him.
Still no yellow card, as Craig Brown says. A rule for one, a rule for another, and now he's going to give a yellow card to Amoruso. Now this is what really annoys people. He's giving him it for time wasting.
Why would Amoruso be time wasting at this stage in the game? Maybe towards the end, but that unbelievable. I thought it's the non-offending team really being penalised there.
Well, he gave a penalty away on this ground last season. Now he's got a yellow card, but really that's crazy.
The free kick might have got a yellow card, John.
Up towards Wallace. It might fall here for Wallace as well. Gets a layoff. It does well. Adamchuk with the shot. It'll come to Ferguson. A little nick on from him. It's beyond Van Bronckhorst though. But Ferguson has a second nibble at it. Reina. Amoruso was clearly affronted by that yellow card, and I would have been if I'd have been him as well.
Yeah, and it's a very unfortunate one, because with his style of play he could incur another yellow, and that would be disastrous if he were to be ordered off.
The draw for the Champions League made tomorrow in Monte Carlo. Let's hope Rangers have an interest in it, but here comes Vanoli. Great tackle by Adamchuk. That really was excellent. Always difficult to take the ball from behind nowadays with a tackle outlawed.
Yeah, great tackle.
And that's a great ball as well, spread wide here for Vidmar. Maybe more than a fraction long.
Yeah, I know the pitch is narrow, but I don't think Tony Vidmar realised you know what he was doing there. He got into a great position, but where we had a defender in an attacking position, and sometimes he just doesn't have the wisdom to dink a ball just into the penalty spot rather than right across the face of the goal and out of play.
Might have been good in Australian rules. That
Yeah, exactly.
Reina, he's had such an explosive start to the season with Rangers. 5 goals already, Claudio Reina. Lilian Thuram. Oh, look at that, he's goading him, isn't he, there, Fuse, who's just saying, come on, try and take it off me. And in fact, it's rebounded on them because Rangers have got the ball back. And here goes Moles now, into the area, cracks the shot in against Thuram's ankles. I don't know if you saw there about Fuse, but he was just having a bit of kidology.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what's happening here. Fuse is playing deeper and deeper and deeper and allowing Vidmar into a forward position. And the same on the other side. Vanoli's dropped deeper, so that's good for Rangers. The fact that the wide players are having to defend a bit more.
It's into the area. I stress they still haven't had a shot at Gianluigi Buffon.
As long as they restrict the shots on Charbonnier, that's the main thing.
There's only one Giovanni on the pitch, by the way, tonight, and he's playing for Rangers. Amazing. Ortega. Free kick given by the linesman here, and that looked a harsh one as well.
Yeah, we see the offence there, but it's very soft. That you know, when you see he's got a slight push with his arm, and technically the decision was correct.
Parma have won a lot of free kicks, but they've not really made any of them count. One, Charbonnier made a great save from one.
Vanoli's got a great left foot. He'll swing this in top of the goalkeeper.
And the keeper, well, was not to be fooled. Stood his ground, took it well.
Good goalkeeping. And Malasani still worried looking, I think.
Well, he hasn't got Veron and he hasn't got Chiesa to try and turn the game for him this year. Offside against Wallace.
No, and they haven't got the Brazilian Amoroso up front either. So he's got a few good players missing. But in spite of that, Rangers are doing very well.
Thuram, such a hero in the World Cup for France when he scored those 2 goals against Croatia in the semi-finals. Fuse threads it through this time. I don't think he'll get to that. And Dick Advocaat almost looking relaxed.
Yeah, Dick's got every reason to look relaxed at the moment. If it continues like this, he'll be a very happy man at the end of the match.
Just to repeat the one score from the Premier League so far: Arsenal 2, Bradford City 0. Goals from Vieira and Canu.
That's 2 disappointing goal kicks from Amoroso. I think trying to kick the ball too far and too hard. And he's got a wonderful shot on goal and he strikes it beautifully, but he's not taking the goal kicks well at all.
Away by Amoruso, but he misses Wallace, and this is where they could be caught out. Corner. All the corners have come from the same side as well. Shows where the pressure is building.
Yes, it's building down this side, but Fusser started very brightly. He's not getting the same mileage in the last 10-15 minutes though.
Well, he's going to arrow it away from goal again, so Charbonnier stays on the line. But when Bogosian, there's the bicycle kick, and that's dead, and that again is to Rangers' advantage. So some latest scores coming in from the English Premier League, and as you can see, Everton and Newcastle are both 1-up, so that's some relief for Ruud Gullit. Newcastle 1-up on Sunderland, and Everton also a goal up against Wimbledon. 1 or 2 goals going in England, none so far going on here in Italy, which is great for Rangers and great for those 5,000 fans.
Yeah, you see the delight amongst the fans. They're clapping and chanting. They're very happy. I just hope it's not too premature, but they are indeed. supporting their team very well in this match.
Chance here into the area, Van Bronckhorst. Oh, brilliant piece of defending, however, from that man Lassisi. He got some rough edges, but he did his job well that time.
No, he did indeed, yes. He timed the tackle brilliantly to deny a great chance there for Van Bronckhorst.
Lassisi, who comes from the Ivory Coast, and there's some very good players over there. And there is Lassisi once more. The clearance puts his own man Di Vaio under pressure, and Ferguson will pop the ball away for Reina. That might just be a foul against Senor Ortega. And Amoruso's going to have to be careful. I know he's been booked, but he doesn't need to talk to the referee.
No, referees don't like that. They don't like their position being undermined at all.
He got the free kick. He didn't need to say anything. Ferguson. He's got a lot of poise, Barry Ferguson, for one so young. He's only 21. Torrisi to Fuser, who looks up, and he's got the pace here, and he's got past Vidmar. Still Fuser, and he'll get towards the edge of the area. Excellent tackle again. And it was that man, Ferguson.
Yeah, Barry Ferguson's been everywhere. He's protected his back three brilliantly. He's been sitting in there, and he's got a cross, as we see there, to his left, and he cut out a very dangerous situation by an excellent interception tackle on Fuser.
He will take the umpteenth corner for Parma. Headed away easily, Amoruso. Comes Fuser's way again, though. Like 4 up in the area, but when possession is lost, the crowd do get frustrated. And Moles has done well to elude the man who would come across to cover him, Dino Baggio. Reina, Moles, Wallace is across the middle, so is Reina. Moles just holds it up, however, for the time being. Spread across field by Van Bronckhorst for Adamchuk. Might cut in here. No real avenue for them. Wallace. The impetus rather lost there when Moles had to reverse. And then when possession is conceded, the danger is that Crespo will lead a break down the right. Of course, another player they lost was Abel Balbo.
Yeah, Balbo's gone, but Crespo's back, and he's fit now, but he's been very quiet this evening.
Fuser into the danger. The layoff is here for Bogosian. Couldn't again make any decent contact with the ball, and Rangers rather scarily do get the ball away. They were a little fortuitous there.
Yeah, but good play by Perini, but an excellent tackle in Bogosian, just as the French World Cup winner was about to shoot.
Calmer done by Torrisi. Thinking of Ferguson, going to put you on the spot, Craig. You've got a team to pick, haven't you, this week? One or two changes, I suspect.
Yeah, a team to pick on Friday, and obviously Barry Ferguson is certain to be in that squad. And unfortunately, because of injury, he's managed only one international appearance for us, and yet he's been one of the most outstanding midfield players in the country. So we hope he's fit, and he'll play in Bosnia and in Estonia.
There's Van Bronckhorst. All broken up. And, I also ask you about strikers, because that is a problem for you, and I noticed the one Gary McSwegan got a hat-trick at the weekend. Yeah,
we've got to seriously consider Gary, because we need strikers on form.
Here goes Moles, one-on-one, and he's across there quickly, Lassisi. So Gary McSwegan might just get his chance.
Yes, he might just do that. I'm glad to hear you've got the team pick for me, John, and thank you very much.
The fact that Gary McSwegan is my cousin has nothing to do with it.
Right, well, we've only another 17 to select, and we've got the squad.
I once visited Scotland, you never know. It's a big problem for Craig Brown, though, at the moment, because of the foreign influx of players. And Kevin Keegan, I'm sure, is going to have the same problem in a year or two's time with England. Anyway, let's concentrate on the game here. Moles, he's got colleagues right and left. This is Wallace. They've done well here, and Adamchuk has got forward well too, and Van Bronckhorst can't find any support. And so Fuser, as we approach half-time here, Fuser's got a great energy in the current vernacular, and he's covered the length of the pitch there, but he's been well covered again.
Yeah, this play by Adamczyk in the right wide position has been excellent, and he's been a major influence in keeping the score sheet blank.
Dino Baggio, they don't let him drive forward and let one rip there on the edge of that area. But I know you were disappointed about the non-appearance in the starting lineup of Neil McCann, but as one coach to another, you would say that Dick Advocaat so far has got his selection absolutely right.
Absolutely right, tactically absolutely spot on, and you know, they survived the opening 10-15 minutes when they looked like perhaps losing a goal, but thereafter things have been quite comfortable.
Just 1 minute to be added on. That's how well Rangers have done in this first half here in Parma, in this intimidating atmosphere of the Stadio Ennio Tardini. 27,500 the capacity, and it looks pretty full to me tonight. It certainly sounds like a capacity crowd. And Rangers have gained in confidence in the last few minutes coming forward, and this is Vidmar, who scored of course in the first leg. Will pull it across here, and almost a fumble by Buffon, probably the first time he's touched the ball.
Yeah, great play by Vidmar though, and a good low driven cross, well handled at the second attempt. He fumbled it slightly, but it was a difficult ball to take.
Di Vaio. Bogosian. Fouzer, and he'll be forward again. Fouzer, well cut out. Van Bronckhorst hammered it against his own man Wallace, but Rangers get away with that. And a very good first half, Craig, for Glasgow Rangers.
Yeah, it's very good first half. I think the goalkeeper Charbonnet has been magnificent. 2 outstanding saves. Good decision to select him because he's confirmed his worth in goal, and I think but for Charbonnet they might have been behind, but an excellent first half from Rangers.
So far so good for Glasgow Rangers and the travelling army here. The views of Pat Nevin and Terry Butcher coming up after the break. At half time it is Parma 0, Glasgow Rangers 0.
Sometimes the best training methods are also the simplest. No pain, no gamer. Quiet. Go, 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 Escargot. No, no, that way. Hop, hop here. Idiot.
You go the Palletti way, or you take the bus.
Based from the commentary that was going to be the case, but I mean Amoruso as well has to be slightly careful now. I mean, he's had a booking and it's very easy to get booked in these games. Lost his temper once just near the end there when he was kicked by Ortega. Can't afford to do that at this level.
Okay, well, it's going to be a cracking next 45 minutes, isn't it? Over to Italy we can go again then. Our commentators Craig Brown and first John Helm.
Welcome back to Parma. We've had a half-time ham, and we're all happy about the half-time scoreline as well. At 0-0, Craig Brown with me. Rangers have acquitted themselves well, but we all know, as Bill Shankly says, it only takes a second to score a goal. There's a long way to go in this match.
Yeah, a long way to go, but I think Rangers will be pleased with their first half performance. I'm sure the coach will be delighted to reaffirm that they must keep playing as competently and with the assurance as they've shown during the first half. They've done particularly well at stopping the wide threat. Adamczyk has been excellent on one side for Rangers, and on the other side Tony Vidmar has done the same job. So I'm afraid that from the Parma point of view, they haven't had the wide threat that they might have imposed on Rangers.
And I can reaffirm that there are no substitutions for the second half on either side. Shot there of Michael Moles just towards half-time. Rangers did start to create a little bit more inside the Parma half. There's the Swedish referee, Carl-Erik Nielsen. Dick Advocaat, John Gregg, the substitutes, all sweating on the next 45 minutes, which is so crucial, not just for Glasgow Rangers, but for Scottish football as a whole.
Yes, it is indeed. I think everyone in Scottish football, or everyone should anyway, be hoping that Rangers are in the Champions League and that Parma are coming maybe again to Scotland to play against Celtic or St Johnstone or Kilmarnock in the UEFA Cup.
And we can't stress enough the importance financially of a place in the European Champions League. They reckon conservatively it's worth at least £2 million.
Yeah, I think though I'm more concerned for the prestige that an appearance in that level of competition brings to Scotland, and that would be terrific for the game in our country. Although there are 8 nationalities out there playing for Rangers and only 1 Scot.
Absolutely right. Michael Moll showed some neat footwork, and now Sergio Porrini, was born just up the road in Milan. Such an international game these days.
Yeah, Porini's done very well on Di Vaio, and more importantly I think that Amoruso has done a great job marking Crespo, and Craig Moore has been spare at the back there. It's been excellent defending from Rangers.
Rayner sweeping forward, and this time it's Rangers who have a free kick on the edge of the Parma penalty area, so let's see what they've been doing in training.
Well, Amoruso can thunder the ball, and Van Bronckhorst can spin it, so can Rayner, so we'll see. They'll have a look at the defensive wall and decide whether it's going to be driven by Amoruso or a shot from Rayner or Van Bronckhorst.
It's nice to have all those options.
Well, my experience of watching Italian football indicates that the Parma wall is usually very solid. It jumps in a synchronised fashion, and it's well organised.
So it looks like Van Bronckhorst to hit it. It does, takes a massive deflection, and I reckon that's Rangers' first corner of the evening compared to the 7 that Parma had in the first half. All from the same side. Yeah, but good defending by Torrisi there. He was quick to block the corner, the free kick rather, resulting in the corner. To be an in-swinger from Van Bronckhorst. And it's well laid across, and there might be something at the back post. Oh, Porrini had got across there.
Porrini was, I think, a bit asleep there. I don't think he thought the ball would get as far as his position at the back post, and in fact he was taken by surprise.
Only ever scored once in Europe for Glasgow Rangers against Beta out of Jerusalem. The forward ball from Crespo. I must say that the front pairing of Crespo and Di Vaio certainly doesn't look as sparky as the one they had last year when Chiesa or Balbo was in there.
No, it doesn't, but you've got to credit the 2 markers at the back for Rangers. Amoruso has followed Crespo and picked him up, and Porini's picked up Di Vaio, as I said earlier, and it's been extremely effective. Crespo's head looks to be a bit down at the moment because he doesn't relish the man marking. Well, Dick Advocaat, who was the first foreign coach at Glasgow Rangers, replaced Walter Smith, of course. Walter moving on to Everton. He's got a birthday coming up next month, 52. You can age very quickly in this job, but Dick looks a sprightly 51 at the moment. That's good play to release Rayner. Wallace is in the middle. He's only a little fellow. He's got the header in, and that is the first proper save that Buffon has been called upon to make. Yeah, that was a brilliant save. It was a great ball from Rayner. Caused Malasani no end of worry there. This is a terrific cross and a brilliant header by Rod Wallace against the balance of the goalkeeper. Terrific save from the Italian number 1. 27 goals last season, Rod Wallace. I think he would admit his career was stagnating a little at Leeds United in the last year or 2 there at Ellen Road, but he's certainly resurrected it with Rangers. That's a very deep one, but Amoruso will head back across. How to play goal kick, but Rod Wallace has really rejuvenated his career by moving north to Scotland. Yes, he has, and there's the cross. It's a terrific one, and Rod Wallace gets his neck into that, and he really powers the header down at the goalkeeper's left. A fine save, and just as well for Parma, or that I'm sure would have finished the tie. Let's hope it doesn't rattle him into action. Vanoli, Baggio, Dino Baggio, no relation of the great Roberto. Amoruso will be hounded here. Whoops, a fresh air shot. Ortega, and Dino Baggio. Excellent marking again from Rayner. He's not just a good player going forward, Rayner, he's doing some sterling work at the back. But again, the first 15 minutes of this half are crucial. Ortega, it's a floater in the end, didn't trouble Charbonnier. No, it was neither a shot nor a cross, and it was comfortably held by this goalkeeper who's done exceptionally well tonight for Rangers. Well, I hope you're enjoying the action on Channel 5 here, brought to you live from Italy.
from Parma. Become a real soccer stronghold, and here is Ortega. He's going to ignite the match if he can do, but Perini will be in the way again. It didn't get through to Di Vaio. Glasgow Rangers with a world record 98 major trophies. They've won the domestic championship 48 times, 10 years of the last 11. It's an enviable record, and they're proving their worth this evening. Bogosian. I'm sure when the draw was made, Parma thought, oh, that'll do. They beat Rangers last season, but could be revenge here, but who knows, because here goes Lassisi. Rizzo again did splendid. Fuse. Parma's first corner of the half.
Yeah, we see Lassisi breaking from the back there, and I think he has to do that if they're going to get anything in this second half. You've got to get some mileage from the back.
Dabchuk. Decent ball up looking for Wallace. Headed cleared by Torrisi, the former Torino and Bologna player who won his first cap last year against France.
Yeah, interesting, John. Torrisi's playing in the central position of the three defenders. I think the idea is that they'll hope to get Turan forward and Lassisi forward, and Torrisi will stay at the back. And it's happened once or twice in the first half and once in the second half.
It's broken down again though. So Wallace to Moles. That was a fair tackle back by Vanoli, but Moles is strong. He's not the biggest centre forward you've ever seen, but he's strong. In steps Turan. Down the line goes Crespo, the Argentinian. There are two across to his right. Still Crespo, hounded by Reina. More sterling work at the back.
Terrific defending, yes, and very disappointing because Crespo lost possession when Turan had overlapped him on the left.
Hit long this time. Moles on the charge. The goalkeeper must be sure here. Hooks it over his own head, Buffon.
Yeah, a wonderful play by Buffon.
Fuse trying a different channel through the middle. Almost an unfortunate ricochet there of Ferguson, but Charbonnier can do no more than play it out, and those Parma fans will wave their flags now and try and urge their side on. They know they're going to have to work though.
Yeah, the heads are beginning to drop a little. We see that wide on the left. Vanoli, who had an inspirational game, I felt, at Ibrox, has been out of the situation, and Dick Advocat there is very animated. He sees a chance of glory here, and I'm sure he'll be urging his players on to succeed.
It's a quiet Dutchman. Fuse. Sort of nothing ball, but Ortega will give chase, and he'll be covered by Ferguson, the indefatigable Ferguson. In goes Fuse. Good covering from Craig Moore. Got across there.
Yeah, that's been his job tonight, to give the cover to the two markers, and in fact Rangers have played in a fashion similar to that of many Italian teams. They've done a man-for-man marking job, and desperation from Malasani. A drink of water, I'm sure his throat will be dry. He'll be very, very worried the way things are going for Parma.
He was stalking the touchline there. It must be in his mind now, does he make a substitution before too long, I'm sure.
Yeah, frankly, John, I don't think you can improve on this side, looking at his bench players, unless some of the legs go. And
here's Ortega. Sorry to interrupt there, Craig, but it was just menacing on the edge of the area. Now, I suppose he's got Serena possibly to bring on, maybe Mario Stanic, the Croatian World Cup player.
Yeah, but neither looked particularly impressive in the first leg, so I think this is his strongest side.
Ortega will not be happy about this, because the referee's assistant on the far side saw him use a little elbow, a little push. Actually, he's not complaining, is he?
No, and it's interesting to see that Amoruso has been jogging over. I think he's learned from that yellow card they got. He won't hesitate. Yeah, Ortega was pushing there.
Wallace as well, he gets up there. He's a smaller man than Teresi, but he got his head to the ball. Every second you can use up can be crucial.
Yeah, Wallace is good in the air for his size. He's headed a few goals, but he's excellent at flicking it on as well.
Bogosian. All the blue shirts are back again, so possession is conceded and the fans are getting a little frustrated once more, which is a good sign from Rangers' point of view. Reina. Handball, well spotted by the Swedish official. He was right there on the job, and again it's... we have a look again at this little incident.
Yes,
here.
I'm sure he penalised Ortega for a tackle from behind, and it's given Rangers possession.
That was the frustration that we saw in the World Cup from the Argentinian, just bubbles over every now and again. There's an offside verdict here. Actually, the officials are working quite well in unison at the moment, I'll say that. Vanoli, who scored in that UEFA Cup victory in Moscow against Marseille. Bogosian. Fouzer, there's a supporting run up the right touchline. This might be a problem now. Lassisi will try and pose one. All the blue shirts are in there again. They are doing so well at getting back, and in this stifling heat, that's a real tribute to the Rangers players.
It is indeed, and we see Lassisi again breaking from the back three, leaving it man for man, leaving Moles and Wallace up there man for man. They must take a risk now, Parma, if they're going to survive in this tournament.
Di Vaio's in the penalty area. It'll be short for Lassisi. Needs to get the ball across there, but the excellent Adamchuk was in the way. Storming run forward from Bogosian. Can't get a shot in though, because that man Claudio Reina has covered some ground to get back. And so Wallace releases Moles. He's one-on-one with Thuram. This is Michael Moles. Well, there aren't many better in the world than Lilian Thuram.
No, tremendous defending by Thuram. Moles is not the kind of player really to outstrip you from the halfway line. They've got one on the bench who could do that, Johansson, but Moles is a wonderful, a magnificent penalty box player, round about the box, but he's not going to outrun Thuram.
Di Vaio try and turn Porini here. Important that they don't bring him down. And, they did well. Ortega.
Great play by Adamchuk, and frustration again for Ortega.
Moles. He does hold the ball up well, Moles. Reina, who's been a growing influence on this game. A lot of it in defence. Just in your picture there, you can see Neil McCann stripped for action on the touchline. We think it'll be Rod Wallace who goes off, but again Reina's done well, and he's up around the edge of that area. Claudio Reina's got a spare man out on his left. Could there be something here? The shot is driven in and off the inside of the upright. How unfortunate can you be? Tony Vidmar. That could be so crucial.
Terrific play, supporting play by Vidmar, and a great shot off the junction of the bar and the post. That was tremendous play from Rangers.
And from Reina, and he's broken up another move to give Wallace the ball onto Moles. Well, that would have finished the tie, I fancy. I think they would have been demoralised.
Absolutely, they look a bit demoralised at the moment, and that would just have confirmed it.
Vidmar's up in space down the left again, but this time it is broken up, and this could be a really crucial phase of the game. They have to come at them here. Parma, Fouzer has got past his man. He'll cut the ball back in there, and it's well covered again on the back of that Rangers defence. That was a certainly dangerous moment, and Ferguson was back there as he seems to have been all night when he's had to be.
Yeah, Vidmar got lost. He went on an attacking run again, and he was 50 yards from Fouzer there. But who was in position? None other than Barry Ferguson again.
Rangers are still trying to make that substitution I alluded to a moment ago, with Wallace needing to come off and McCann desperate to come on.
Yeah, Wallace is limping and McCann's coming on for Wallace, which I don't think will weaken Rangers at all. In fact, McCann has terrific pace and will stretch this Parma defence.
There goes Vanoli, and Adamchuk, who's had an excellent game for me, concedes the corner, and that will enable the substitution to be made as we look again here, the moment where Vidmar came close to winning the match.
Yeah, that was terrific play by Rangers, a great shot by Vidmar, and Wallace limping away, a major blow to Rangers. On comes Neil McCann. I'm delighted to see him, the second Scot on the side, and I hope he'll have a sparkling final 20 minutes or so.
Charbonnier the punch, not very far though. Crespo's had a really disappointing night. He's not done anything right really, can't get the pass through. Yeah, McCann quickly won the hearts of the Rangers fans after his move from Hearts last season when he scored a couple of goals in the clinching match against Celtic.
Yeah, he's done very well.
This is Bogosian, turn here, and still not over this match. Here is Hernan Crespo, the Argentinian from River Plate, and down he goes theatrically. He's not going to fool anybody with that.
No, good defending by Van Bronckhorst. He got back in to assist his defenders, and they won the ball cleanly there from Crespo, who's been very lacklustre this evening.
Rangers have reached the Champions League on 3 previous occasions, hoping to make it 4. Ortega though spins away from Moore, who's down on the ground. He's back up now, but here's the ball in. Ortega, it'll go dead. Things are just not happening for them, and that's again, well, let's hope it keeps on that way.
Yeah, it's not happening for them. The final ball has let them down so often.
That's why he went down.
Yep.
Craig Moore, bootless.
Moore's down, he's in difficulty losing a boot, but I think it's just a simple question of getting the boot back on and up into action.
Well, although Craig Brown says that he doesn't see how Malasani can improve his 11 that's out there at the moment, there is a lot of action down on the touchline, a little flurry which suggests there may be a substitution before long. It eludes Ortega.
Yeah, I think he'll notice that Dino Baggio, a very influential player, is losing a little of his energy, and Reina is coming more into action.
Well, one challenge by Torrisi over there. There's a bit of space opening at the end, and that can be disconcerting sometimes. There's a bit more flow about the game. It's not quite as tight as it was. Baggio, strong, forceful run here from Fuser, and Fuser's shot smothered by Charbonnier. That's where Fuser's a handful. Yeah,
Fuser, a wonderful penetrating run there, but his final shot was disappointing, and a comfortable save for Charbonnier.
I believe there will be at least one double substitution for Parma.
Yeah, Stanic is going to come on, I'm sure.
Let's have a look again here though. Vanoli's still a problem. Thorn in the side, and Damchuk is... Oh no, well no, I don't think anybody in the crowd really believe that was a penalty.
Well, that was a dive if ever I saw one.
Moles here, apoplectic on the touchline, and hello, got a little head-to-head here, Mr. Moles and Signor Torino, but all very mild.
No, tempers are beginning to get a little frayed there. There was no offence in that, and Bogasen was absolutely out of order on that occasion.
There they are. Johan Valem
coming on.
And Mario Stanic, the Croatian who scored 7 goals for them in just 18 appearances last season. So I think Bogosian is one of those off. Stanic, the crew-pitted Stanic. Van Bronckhorst brings Rangers clear. It's broken up, and straight over there to receive the ball was Fazell. There's going to be a yellow card here though, and it's your friend Lassisi at long last.
Yeah, Lassisi has been asking for it since the start of the match, and deservedly cautioned. Straight replacements there. Stanic coming on up front for De Vaio, and Valem going into midfield for Bogasen on the left side of midfield. He's a tidy little player with an excellent left foot, but again I doubt if these two will be able to influence the result of this match much.
And you just got a glimpse there on the touchline of George Alberts. So it looks as though the German may well be shortly introduced by Glasgow Rangers as well. Easily cut out by Ferguson, who, well, he's covered every blade of grass on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely superb this evening.
Nicely laid forward. Thuram eats up the ground. Fuse starting to run with even greater purpose, and on he goes again. He's a galloper, isn't he? And that's a thumping shot, and it's a foot or maybe two too high. Doesn't matter, Rangers will settle for that. Charbonnier didn't have to get a touch that time, but Fuse is the big problem at the moment.
Fuse has been the threat since the start of the match, and Vidmar going forward leaves gaps sometimes. Fuse, great shot there, but just over the top. Powerful running by Fuse, and maybe he'd have been well advised to play it across the face of the goal rather than selfishly shoot. I think the body language tells you something. Alberto Malassani is resigned to an evening of disappointment, it would appear, but I hope these are not famous last words.
Fingers crossed, Craig. He replaced Carlo Ancelotti, of course, here. Ancelotti moved on to Juventus.
Yeah, they brought him from Fiorentina, where he had an excellent record, and he's already won the UEFA Cup.
Away goes Vanoli. 3 across the middle, still Vanoli goes on. It's cut in there and headed away by Moore, who was in the right place at the right time. They really need a break soon, do Parma. Fuse is the one once more. It's just going to be a free kick. The ball was eluding Ortega, but the Swedish referee, Karl-Erik Nielsen, he prowls that touchline again. Malassani, he's quite a good friend of yours, I think.
Yes, he is. I had a pleasant course with him last month in Barcelona, where I was privileged to listen to him and to have an evening in his company.
Absolutely vital Rangers don't concede anything now. They've done so well for so long. They're inviting the shot, and Charbonnier fumbles it into the net, and they've got that goal, and Parma are right back in the tie here. It was a thumping drive from Valem, and the goalkeeper Charbonnier gets down to it, but only succeeds in touching the ball in off the inside of the upright. Game on.
Yes, amazing after the excellence of Charbonnier, but I was suggesting that Valem wouldn't improve the team. He certainly improved the set pieces, and they hit a very fierce left foot shot there past the Rangers wall, and I've got to say it was fumbled by Charbonnier. I think it would have been fairly straightforward to put it round the post on that occasion, but that is giving new heart and new life to Parma, who looked dead and gone. I'm afraid now, with the last quarter of the game to go, Rangers are up against it.
Well, they are, with this crowd of 24,087 here, not far below capacity. Here it is again from Valem. He couldn't have struck it better, but the goalkeeper will be bitterly disappointed.
Oh yes,
so well until then.
It was extremely well hit by Valem. A nice touch to the side. Reina couldn't get close enough in the blocking. He was the charging man, and unfortunately for Rangers, it was fumbled by Charbonnier.
It's going to be a frantic last 15 or 20 minutes. Now here again, Ortega. Amazing how it always breathes new life into a team, isn't it? They're suddenly running now as though their lives depend on it.
There's a psychological thing there whenever a goal is scored. And there's a bottle on, but it's a plastic one, I'm sure, and it shouldn't cause any problem, a water bottle. Now that goal should have been averted. There's no ifs and buts about it. But Charbonnier could be excused because he's had 2 absolutely magnificent saves in the first half.
Suddenly Alberto Malassani will feel the whole side better as well, but of course...
Yes, he's come alive now. I thought he was a bit despondent looking, but now there's a game on.
Stanic. Fresh legs as well, and here goes Stanic, the Croatian. He'll square this one as well for Fuse. A reminder as well that if they do happen to score again, Parma, and we go to 2-2, we could have another 30 minutes here.
Yeah, and I'm sure the Rangers fans will be wishing that Tony Vidmar's shot hadn't hit the woodwork and hit the back of the net.
That's the only score that would take us into extra time, with away goals counting double. But what an atmosphere, it's fever pitch time. Down the line from Adamchuk. McCann couldn't keep it in, but Dick Advocaat there still looks quite relaxed, but a disappointing goal for Rangers to concede at this stage as well. with 25 minutes played in the half and another 20 to go.
Yeah, it looked as though they were in a comfortable position. The 2 substitutions now have made a difference, and it's purely psychological. The goal should never have been scored, I feel. The free kick was soft, but the shot was good, but not a scoring shot in my opinion.
Brilliant turn from Ortega. Valem again, nearly got it in there to Crespo, but a little touch from Amoruso was sufficient. There's a big onus on people like Moles here now as well, aren't there, to, when he's got possession, to keep it as well as possible. He's teed it up as well. There might just be something here for Van Bronckhorst. McCann in again here towards Van Bronckhorst. He was given offside, but encouragement that Rangers are coming back.
Yes, a great turn in midfield by Moles, releasing Van Bronckhorst, and George Albert's coming on. He'll go down that left side with a left foot which is lethal if he gets within striking distance, and Bert van Lingen giving him his instructions.
I was just thinking there, Craig, goodness knows how Dick Advocaat thought that somebody was going to hear a whistle. And this did.
Oh, it's beginning to get very lively now.
Very lively indeed. Parma a goal up on the night. Rangers 2-1 up on aggregate, and that would be good enough for them to go into the European Champions League draw tomorrow. They played in the Champions League in 1993, 1996 and 1997. Who will ever forget that famous victory over Leeds United?
Yeah, we remember that. It was an excellent time that Walter Smith had then. And it looks as though this Rangers team could emulate that, but they've got a vital 20 minutes to survive here.
The free kicks are getting more regular. And Malasani down on the touchline is frantically waving. You can't see that, but you can. Just at the bottom you can see an arm reaching out, and there he is. He senses maybe the kill here. Craig Moore in the way. It wasn't the best delivery from Ortega.
No, it wasn't. It was a substandard delivery.
Well,
and
it's Ferguson coming off.
Yep. That's surprising, but he's done very well indeed.
Well, maybe his thinking is Albert the Hammer,
yes.
The Hamburg Hammer, might just smack one in.
Can strike one in.
That away goal would mean so much, wouldn't it?
It would indeed, but difficult to know who to take off, because all the Rangers midfield players have played well, and the man coming on, Alberts, is an orthodox left midfield player, so there's been an adjustment there, bringing Reina into Barry Ferguson's role, I suspect.
It's Van Bronckhorst who concedes this latest free kick.
Yeah, that's what's happened. I think the extra experience of Claudio Reina on Ortega now is Dick Advocaat's ploy for the remaining 20 minutes of the match.
For those who love statistics, there have been 25 free kicks so far in this game, pretty evenly distributed. Valem will swing a ball in here, taken care of for the moment, but Fuse will be there first, ahead of McCann. And for the cross ball in, Amoruso got there in front of Charbonnier, and I'm not sure there was too good a call there from the goalkeeper.
No, I don't know if the goalkeeper was comfortable there, but Amoruso took no chances.
It's a good little spell this for Parma, though. They've brought themselves right back into the contest. Roared on by their 25,000 supporters. Well, that's going to be a free kick. And spot of bother for young McCann. No card. The crowd, of course, are baying for blood now. They want everything.
They are indeed, and they're banked up behind that goal of Charbonnier, and they're extremely enthusiastic.
Well, they've just scored from one free kick. That's what they're looking for again. Alberts is back there helping to defend now. Only the one-man Moles left up on halfway. And it's again in towards the keeper, and this time Charbonnier does react. I think it was Dino Baggio, and Charbonnier just got his fingertips to it.
Yes, it was a good header, and he did. I think maybe Stanic got the head to that, and Charbonnier did well to tip it over.
Free kick already taken. They're pouring on the pressure at the moment. Crucial header away, though. Picked up once more by the little Argentinian. He's only 5 feet 5 inches, but he's back full of tricks. Sometimes his colleagues don't know what he's going to do, but Crespo, a rather lame effort. Crespo certainly hasn't enhanced his reputation so far tonight.
No, he hasn't, but he's been very well marked out of the game. That was a good save again. The header was rather straight, but Charbonnier had to be alert, and he got his head to it. And
especially as though his confidence may have just been a little bit shredded by the concession of the goal, which was down to him, the Frenchman.
Yeah. And I noticed what's happened with the removal of Ferguson. Van Bronckhorst has gone into a central position, and his job is make sure that Ortega doesn't cause any further damage to Rangers.
More water for the coach. A crucial 15 minutes in Rangers season. Of course, the losers do go into the UEFA Cup, but that's not the prize that they're wanting. Thuram, the French World Cup star, drifted over to this side to Vanoli. He'll keep it in under pressure from Adamchuk, and he's manoeuvred a position for a cross. It'll come all the way over for Fouzer, who continues to be a thorn in Rangers' side. Swung across here towards Alberts, but picked up Baggio. Vanoli. Again, he'll take on the excellent Adamchuk. Ortega. Oh, well, I think in Scotland or in England he might have been booked there.
Yeah, I think he would have been, but that was undoubtedly a dive.
Here's Alberts. Well, good run made by McCann, but Alberts unable to find it. Down the line goes Thuram. Beats away the first line of opposition.
Good play by Reina there. Yeah, Reina did well backtracking to save a dangerous situation.
Ortega, this is another dangerous one as well. Oh, well, I wonder there, if he hadn't got in the way, who knows what might have happened to the shot. It's come off his own man, Crespo.
Well, I thought the shot was net bound and Crespo blocked it. Whether or not Charbonnet would have saved it, I don't know, but Crespo did it for him, and I'm sure he'll be very disappointed to get in the line on that one. Here we have an idea of what's happening. Yes, Crespo blocked it. Charbonnet, I think, would have got it, but Crespo did the job for him.
Rangers had an extra defender.
Yeah.
I don't remember them signing Crespo.
Well, I don't think they would be paying that kind of money for Crespo. It would be, they've spent well, but Crespo is really a fortune.
Well, we were talking about last chances, and just to remind you again, the late movie coming up this evening after the football is Last Chance here on Channel 5. But it's 1-0 at the moment, Parma. It's 2-1 Rangers on aggregate as we see the that's that shot again, and Crespo really did get in the way. I think as Craig Brown said, Charbonnet would have saved it, but Serena has come on. And Vanoli has gone off. Disappointed Vanoli, he's such an influential player.
Yeah, a very influential game in Glasgow, but not quite so effective tonight due to Adamczyk's fine play.
That will make Adamczyk feel very pleased with his night's work, I'm sure. 12 minutes to go. Unless, of course, Parma score again. But fingers crossed for Rangers.
Mr. Advocat there, agitated looking, but I think with less than 15 minutes left, he should be reasonably happy.
Well, pressure here, and there's pressure on Ruud Gullit again, because the news from the northeast is that Sunderland are now leading Newcastle United by 2-1, having been a goal behind. Well, they'll take their time here, and Mols will brush aside Valem. Adamchuk. Van Bronckhorst. Porini stroking the ball around confidently here. Vidmar, who scored in the first leg, scored at the weekend, might score again here. Taking his time, Vidmar tries to clip the... He does love getting forward into shooting positions, doesn't he?
Yeah, he was in excellent shooting position on his right side, but he wanted it onto his favoured left foot and tried a chip which went over the top. But good play again by Tony Vidmar.
Away goes Ortega. Oh, the hammer. And a free kick as well for George Alberts. You wouldn't argue with him, would you?
No, I wouldn't argue with George. Very powerful, good play, and he was impeded. Down he went. He's a strong guy. He'll be up and back into action. Yet another nationality in the Rangers team, and a German player on the fringe of the international side in Germany.
There may well be another substitution shortly, and it's not on Malasani's side, it will be on the Rangers side. I think we're going to get a first sighting this season of the indomitable Colin Hendry, your World Cup captain.
Yeah, Colin will relish the last 10 minutes if he gets an opportunity to come on.
But it's Parma going forward with Dino Baggio. Chips a ball up there. I'm sure it wasn't what he quite intended, that somehow. Moles has come deep. Good well. Claudio Reyna through here, one-on-one. And he's getting in. Here is McCann. And that was a fair enough challenge from Lassisi, who stuck to his task. Just for a moment, it looked as though McCann might be in. Stanic and a swift, just thrust out the right boot, deflected it over this way, and Valem, the scorer of the one goal, is there, but Van Bronckhorst has done a great job there for Rangers.
Yeah, look at the energy at this stage in the game, that's amazing. He's got plenty of energy left in him. He's bursting from defence into attack. He was up supporting the last attack, and there he is back defending.
Well, they're queuing up around the edge of that area, and this will be a free kick, and this will be certainly encouragement for Parma.
Yeah, exactly the same position from which they scored the goal, and Valem there talking to the referee. This looked to be a softish offence, but it's a free kick and a dangerous one, and psychologically again Charbonnier will be saying, oh, I better be very, very careful, but surely he won't make the same mistake.
Fuser's the one man who has played to form, probably in the Parma side. Fuser's had a good night.
He's had a good night indeed.
This isn't a dissimilar position from the one that they scored from.
Yes, exactly. But they look to be going to change it here. It looks as though Dino Baggio,
probably on the grounds that lightning surely can't strike twice. Valem is involved.
Valem could do it again.
It's in, it's over, and it's wide. So he didn't do it.
He didn't do it, but similar type of shot, only tried to curl it this time, and no danger.
So David Murray can breathe more easily back there in Glasgow. It'll be a Damchuk off, and what a good night and a good contribution he's made to the game. And Colin Hendry, what better player to be able to bring on at this stage. But Adamchuk's introduction tonight was questioned by one or two maybe, but he's really got them in the places.
Yeah, the coach has vindicated there. Adamchuk did exceptionally well. Henry will go into the heart of defence, and Perini coming into the position wide on the right of the middle five. So this is the last I think change that will be made by Rangers, I would expect anyway. Colin Henry in at the back, in the back three.
Here goes Moles, he'll square it for Alberts, who rattles one in, but it's straight into the wiring behind the netting behind the goal. 7 minutes left for Rangers to hold on, Craig.
Yeah, and the reason for that change is Colin Henry on Stanic. Stanic is a big fellow and has got one or two headers, and I'm sure Dick Advocat has realised that Colin Henry's the man to out-jump him, and he's put him on Stanic.
It's Ortega. It's not the best ball he's ever played. And they'll happily let this one drift out of play, and the crowd just getting on at Ortega a little bit.
Yeah, Ortega's head's down. He's very despondent.
Well, Dick Advocat there won't mind if the scoreline stays the same. It would represent Rangers' first defeat of this season. In fact, their first defeat since April the 4th when they lost to St Johnstone, but it's over the 2 games that it counts.
Exactly, I think this defeat, if it stays at 1, would be acceptable because they won the tie and that was the objective.
Offside. Again, we'll waste up the odd second or two.
Yeah, we have 6.5 minutes of normal time to play, and things look good at the moment.
That's a long one for Dino Baggio to chase after, and he got there too. Oh, and he's not played a bad crossing. Did well there, Baggio. It looked a lost cause for a moment.
Yeah, but that's why Henry was brought on. He out-jumped Stanic for the inviting cross.
Talk of West Ham United interest in Colin Hendry. He's out there battling on Glasgow Rangers' behalf at the moment. With 5 minutes, 5 absolutely imperative minutes of Glasgow Rangers season to come. It's floated in towards Stanic. Ortega. They stood tall at the back. No one taller than Hendry. Thuram. Ortega again. Oh, fine header away by Craig Moore. He's won some ball in there as well. It's Ortega who comes deep. It's Thuram now forward. Supported down the left by Valem. First time ball's in, but that was rather hopeful, wasn't it, rather than played directly to anybody. Let's see what happens now, though. Scotland's Glasgow Rangers still on the back foot, still battling for everything. To be clipped across. Here's Charbonnier! Does get his fingertips to it, and what's more, he's prevented it going out from the corner. Oh, he's had a bit of a mixed night, but he made it.
He made it, yes, and I thought he had conceded a corner kick, but it's a throw-in.
4 dramatic minutes left here in the Stadio Ennio Tardini, and it's a Glasgow Rangers throw. That doesn't go down too well with the home fans.
There's the ball over, and Charbonnier got a vital touch to it. Again, good goalkeeping.
Summed up Crespo's night again, that. Missed him by a matter of inches. Here's Ortega, and don't bring him down now. Still he's there, because he will go down if he can. There's a chance of a shot, and it's wide again from Stanic.
Yeah, Stanic was leaning back there. That was a good opening. There was a bit of a scramble. The ball broke to Stanic, as we see here, and Stanic was just leaning back a bit, and he sliced it and over the top. Relief for Rangers. There's Dick giving the final instructions. Hopefully it'll be the final instructions for Rangers, because you know, with only a few minutes to go, they look
getting rid of nervous energy, I think.
Yeah, they look as if they're going to do it, but again, you can't talk too soon, as we saw in the European Cup final.
3 minutes of normal time of the 90, but if they scored again, Parma, we'd have 30 minutes of extra time if it was 2-2. Here goes that man Ortega once more. It's another ball into Craig Moore. It's out for Valem. Oh, excellent play, Claudio Reyna, and Rangers have a 3-on-3 break. In fact, it'll be 4-on-3 if Alberts can get forward now. He scored on this ground last season.
He did, and his fresh legs got him up in support.
Moles just wants to keep it away from the men in yellow. So does Alberts. That's fine. Back with Porrini. Possession, the name of the game. Moles has done well again. Porrini. Stanic eventually does win the ball back. Time very much running out, though. Less than 2 minutes of the 90 left. Valem in possession for Parma. Forward it goes from Fuser. Baggio will run on into the area. He'll lob one across here. Stanic with the header. There might just be a chance on the edge of that area. Fuser will square it. Here's the shot over the top. Groans around the stadium.
Yeah, in vital seconds, passing for Rangers. That one was high over the top. Nothing like the free kick which he took, which got the equaliser. I felt rather fortunately for Parma.
Dick Advocaat on the verge of taking Glasgow Rangers into the European Champions League. But you count nothing for granted in this game, as anybody who saw the final of that competition last year between Bayern Munich and Manchester United will tell you. Manchester United a goal down with a minute to go and they won it. And there will be 3 minutes added, we are told. And there's 45 seconds left of normal time. Just the sort of situation Terry Butcher would relish this, I think, if he's watching back in the studio there. Terry would love this.
Terry would love to be playing, I'm sure. And he is an inspirational captain, and I'm sure he would have held things together. But I think the lads out there look like doing it.
Well, here come Lassisi for Parma. Alberts gets his left foot to the ball. Still it's not over, because Ortega here will be into the area. This is a problem again for Rangers, and Charbonnier makes the save. Stanic reckons he was having his shirt tucked. It doesn't matter, the Frenchman's got his gloves on the ball, and there it is, 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, 3 vital minutes, a good save again from Charbonnier. Good play by Ortega that time, but the goalkeeping was excellent. And Rangers hang on.
They do, and Amoruso belts it up halfway inside the Parma half. Thuram, one of the winners. There are 7 of this Parma side who played in the final 3 months ago in Moscow. But for the moment, it's Rangers going through. And Parma will have to compete in that same UEFA Cup again.
Yeah, let's hope it's for the sake of Scottish football that it's the UEFA Cup. 2 minutes for Rangers to hold on.
Yeah, of course, clubs like Leeds United and Tottenham Hotspur in there in the UEFA Cup. So, but Glasgow Rangers at the moment destined for the Champions League. Cross into the area, looks as though there might have been a handball. It's squared again, this might be the last chance. Fuse can't get it across, and between them, those Rangers defenders managed to get the ball away. Alberts giving them breathing space over there, and maybe Ortega just took a little too long there. I thought he had the chance of a shot, just an inkling of hope.
Yeah, he delayed a little long, he had a chance. So had that man there, Dino Baggio, but the heads are down now, I suspect. They look a little despondent as time's running out for them.
But they have the possession with Valem, the Belgian. Nicked up towards the edge of that penalty area by Serena. Now joining in will be Thuram, and Thuram thrashes the ball across, and it's out again, and once more Crespo can't benefit from that hard-driven cross. But it's still not over. Here comes Torrisi now, but that's a giveaway. But so too by Van Bronckhorst. The ball in from Fuse. Again it comes off Fuse. They must smack it away surely, but they've only succeeded in giving it back to Lassisi. He'll storm forward again here now. Still it's Lassisi. Edge of the area, it's away. Only to Thuram now. Lilian Thuram. Ortega, he may have a go at goal here. It's into the midriff of the goalkeeper, Lionel Charbonnier, and maybe it is going to be his night after all.
Yeah, I think it will be his night. He can clear this into a corner, and Rangers out. They won't come out from that very deep defensive position for the last 1 minute of the match.
30 seconds in fact, Craig. And I'm sure you're delighted to have been here to witness this Rangers triumph, if indeed it is to be a triumph.
Yeah, and I would hope that Celtic, Kilmarnock, St Johnstone do the same, and Scotland will be well represented.
They are through. It's Glasgow Rangers into the European Champions League, beaten on the night by a single goal scored by the Belgian Johan Valem, but they knock out the UEFA Cup holders Parma on an aggregate score of 2 goals to 1, and it's a glory night for Scotland, a glory night for Dick Advocaat, a glory night for Glasgow Rangers. They will play in the Champions League. The verdict coming up over Terry Butcher and Pat Nevin, but we leave you with these joyful scenes from Parma. Those verdicts to come up after the break. Rangers are through.